Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that.
Y'all don't remember the Georgia Southern game, do you?
You know, I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is.
Like rat poison. All right, so
It's Division One football. It ain't intramurals.
Oh, well, first of all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hoppy Huddle podcast. I'm Jake Hoppy. That's Ed Hoppy. And today we've got week 2 reactions. And I'm excited because Sickle Bears, baby, we beat SMU. I was at the game. It was insane. The crowd went back and forth. The game went back and forth. It was such an amazing shootout. And we'll get to that and a lot more games in just a little bit. But
Jake,
I'm excited.
Hey, I've got breaking news. I'm looking at my phone. I've got some sources. This is at what time is it? 8. It's 8:01 Eastern time. Looking at text message. This is coming from a pretty reliable source down in Gainesville, Florida. I trust this source. Billy Napier, believe this or not, is still the head coach of the Florida Gators.
You really got me there for a second.
I thought I did. Yeah, I thought I did.
I haven't checked Twitter in like 6.5 minutes. So
I refresh every 5 minutes, hoping we'll get an announcement. We'll get to that later. Week 2 was so great. You decided to play the intro twice tonight. I mean,
that's how great it was. It was such a great week.
Man. What a week! What a week of football.
This is why we like college football, because first of all, on the preview show for this week, do I distinctly remember you saying this is going to be a slow, sleepy week and nothing's going to happen?
I should never say that again.
You know how this works in college football. You can't be saying those things.
This was better than week 1. Better than week 1.
Of course it was better than week 1. As soon as you say it's a slow, sleepy weekend, I just don't see where the good games are going to come from. Boom! 100 plus, almost 100 combined points in Baylor SMU. USF upsets South Florida. The border war was absolute cinema.
I mean, we can go down the list of intriguing games. I mean, yeah, you had a number of teams scoring 70 points, which is going to happen when you play FCS teams and all that.
Yeah, but we don't want to talk about that.
We're not even going to talk about those games. Sorry, Florida State, Ohio State, Alabama. We're not even going to talk about your games this week. Sorry. We're just going to move on.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about what happened this weekend. And there was a lot of stuff that happened. I don't even know where you want to start. We got so many storylines.
I think we got to start in Gainesville, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest story of the weekend. I mean, yeah. And I mean, that was, you and I both had eyeballs on that one significantly.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first. I got a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah, there's so much to break down about this game. First of all, before we get into the tar and feather Billy Napier contest, we should just give tons of credit to Alex Golish and the USF Bulls because, man, that is a football team. They are well coached. They're efficient. They play hard on defense. It's a good defense. It's held Boise State and Florida to both Boise State under 10, Florida under 20 points. What? It's a good, solid defense. And
he comes from Josh Heupel. He runs that Baylor offense, that old
veer and
shoot a little bit. There's modifications to it. They've got a good quarterback, Brown. They can run. Remember, Brown got hurt last year. So, you look at the record last year, it's a little misleading because Brown is the engine that runs that team. I mean, he's a pretty impressive guy.
Yeah. Yep. There's so much to break down here because if you watch this game, it was just this was not one of those games where sometimes you get an upset and it's because the quarterback threw 2 pick sixes or fumbled the ball 3 times. The turnover to turnover to ratio is 6-1. And you're like, well, what are you going to do there? They just had it, they had the ball bouncing. This was repeated bad minus EV decision-making by Florida's head coach, Billy Napier, and repeated good plus EV decision-making by USF's head coach, Alex Golish. And if you watch the Boise State game, you'll see this as well. Golish gets it. He gets analytics. He knows when to go for on 4th down. He knows when not to punt, what plays to call. He gets it, right? He gets it. from a game management perspective. Billy Napier doesn't get it. He so does not get it that he doesn't get a Christmas present, right? He cannot call a drive worth his life. I will give him credit. He can call individual plays that are very good. He can script up good individual plays. But for some reason, he can't put together a long drive without being a complete bonehead. Like, I don't understand. It boggles the mind how you get to be a head coach of this large of a program and you still cannot call plays, because either at this point, he should have given up play calling, probably at Louisiana, if we're being honest. But when you get to a certain level, right? If you're just not the savant genius, you kind of just got to give it up, pull the Dabo.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see Dabo calling plays out there, right? We'll get to them. But he needs a play caller. He just and if he was just an okay play caller, but then made like the right decisions situationally, like fine. But he also gave his team, he gave away the opportunity for his team to win that game late in the game when he had opportunities. Not to mention the spitting incident, which is just discipline. Like, that comes from the head coach as well. Like, that happens at certain programs, and the head coach reams him out. That guy doesn't start for 3 weeks. Like, you gotta, some of this is disciplinary and some of this situational. DJ Lagway is insane. How about use him? How about uncork that guy? How about run a couple, like, spread the receivers out and let him fly? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. This is on Billy Napier, and unless he can like win multiple games here soon, I just don't think that I don't think he can do last long in Gainesville as the head coach. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right, we're back. Seems to be Ed maybe having technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're gonna roll on. I want to touch on the Baylor SMU game, because this is the game that I was at and I had the most fun going to. The thing about college football is, when the best experience in college football is when you go to a game for a team that you're rooting for and they win. That's the greatest joy you can have in college football. It's the best experience. There's nothing better. The downside of this, if you're a CFB nerd / addict / prisoner, such as myself, is you miss a whole time slot of games. And when that happens, what you have to do is you have to go back on the next day and you have to rewatch the games, watch condensed versions, highlights, that sort of thing. So that's what I ended up doing. Baylor SMU, I was at that game. I did that for some other games, but at Baylor SMU was there was no defense. This was a 2015 Big 12 game. I don't know what either coach had been drilling with the defense all offseason. Two great quarterbacks, Kevin Jennings and Sawyer Robertson, played lights out. Obviously, I'm a Baylor fan. I was extremely happy that Baylor won, but I got to give props to Kevin Jennings. That guy is an incredible player. His accuracy off balance is something that really took me by surprise. And I guess it shouldn't have, because he's been like this for a while, but he made several off-platform throws, accurate down the field throws, while like kind of jumping out of the way of tacklers, that were really impressive. The first play of the game was a 75-yard Kevin Jennings touchdown pass. Receivers were streaking all over Baylor's defense for SMU. And the same goes for Baylor's receivers on SMU's defense. Some of that was a bit more methodical on some less explosive plays, at least of the 30 plus yards variety. There were a lot of like 11, 12-yard explosives for Baylor. On the Baylor side, I don't know who can stop that passing attack. It's pretty clear that Baylor has 4 really solid wide receivers. It seems to me that they hit on the Alabama transfer Kobe Prentice and their Division II transfer Wilson. So that combined with Josh Cameron, who is incredible. He had over 150 yards, multiple catches, multiple touchdowns. And Ashton Hawkins, the speedy receiver. They've got an extremely solid 4-man on the wide receiver core, as well as tight end Michael Trigg, who is basically just unguardable. You just have to hope he drops the ball. So Baylor's had issues running the ball. Run blocking has been a problem for them. And so if there's a weakness to the Baylor offense, that's it. I will say this may be a pattern for Baylor, is that there may be a lot of games they get into where there's no defense being played, and thus they're going to have a lot of 48-45 games, a lot of shootouts. But man, it was fun. Had a good time. Saw some SMU folks, and went to some tailgates, and tailgate on the boulevard, man. SMU, they got the tailgate set up on the boulevard. I have to say, it's pretty cool environment. I encourage y'all to go check it out. It's had a good time there. SMU folks pretty friendly. Got a lot of money there in SMU, in Dallas, but it's a good experience all around. I don't know if Ed is having technical issues, but we'll try and see if we can get him back on here real quick. Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
What's going on?
I don't know what happened. You know, the internet just sometimes doesn't cooperate. So,
all right.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway,
no, you're good.
You were probably just rambling on about Florida. You want my take?
No, I was rambling on about Baylor SMU, but yeah, give me your take on Florida.
So you were when you zoned out when I left you were talking about his play calling. Yeah, Billy, for some reason they don't trust that offense. Billy just, he doesn't call. Look at Dave Aranda on Baylor. They trust Sawyer Robinson. They go for it on fourth down all the time, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 4th and 4. Billy never goes for it. He is not running the analytics game that everyone else is playing in this sport. That's one issue. Game management is terrible by Billy Napier. Clock management, terrible. They burned that first timeout in the fourth quarter, coming off getting the ball back, completely wasted timeout. Then they get the ball back with 250 something to go. And they've been running the ball right up the middle the whole time. They decided to run 2 pass plays out of those 3 downs. Complete mismanagement of the clock. This isn't just this game. This is so emblematic of his entire 4 years there. This is the pattern of the team. What was it, 11 penalties yesterday? His teams have shown a characteristic of, over the years, penalties, stupid plays on punt returns. Just go down the list. He could talk about culture. He says all the right things. I think he's a nice guy from what I gather, but him running this team, he's a great recruiter, but the game day management, which to me starts with him either trying to call plays, all this stuff, has been a disaster.
Acknowledge that he can't and hire someone who can. Well,
part of the deal when they brought him back last year was when they brought him back, right before it was the Georgia game, they announced they were bringing him back. There was an understanding that he was going to hire an offensive coordinator. Then they rattled off those wins, and he somehow convinced somebody in the administration they didn't need to. Well, guess what? They do. And if they had an offensive coordinator that could take advantage of Lagway, now I think Lagway doesn't look hurt. He looks just rusty. But you know what? You can shake that off. They have enough talent on that team that they should have beaten South Florida.
He didn't look that impressive. I'm going to be honest. This wasn't.
He didn't look that impressive. But honestly,
even on the plays that were called, he didn't look exceptional.
He did it. He looks like somebody who hasn't practiced enough yet. But you know what? You can get there quickly. Okay. I don't think that was the problem yesterday. I think the problem was they also don't seem to want to call plays enough for him. They're not. The other thing I read, this was interesting. I read somewhere where South Florida knew exactly what they were going to run. Like they run like 4 basic running plays, and they knew exactly what they were calling. The defense.
Florida?
Yeah, no, South Florida knew it. Yeah, they knew exactly what
Florida was going to run.
Yep, knew what Florida was coming.
Yeah, because everyone knows. Because if you watch Florida's game, they run the same thing.
It's too simplistic. It's too simplistic. It's the JV level is what he's being criticized. This is a disaster. The Florida fan base, a lot of them have turned already. I don't see this being salvageable. The schedule's brutal. We thought this team could be good this year, but now if they're not good, they're going to get killed on this schedule. They may not win 2 more games.
I would just like to say I did not think Florida would be that great this year.
Okay, you're one of the few. A lot of people did. A lot of people.
I thought they would be good. I didn't think they'd lose to USF. Let me be clear. So
They have too much
I
talent.
actually bet on them to beat USF. So there's money gone there.
Yeah,
But
this is a disaster. I think the sooner they get on with this, the better the coaching search can start. This thing is this thing's going to be a disaster.
Speaking of sooner, how's that for a transition? You want to talk about the game that went down in Norman?
Yeah. I mean, I think this played out kind of like I thought it was going to be.
Me too. The same way. Same here.
I thought Oklahoma was going to be the better team. I think they proved it. I thought Mateer was pretty good the whole game. I thought, again, Michigan is just not at the same level at this point. Nothing surprised me at this game. I want to make a couple of points on Oklahoma. I thought it was a great win for Venables. I'll say this about Oklahoma. I do have a couple concerns. I think, one, their running game gives me a little concern going into the SEC schedule. They're not feeding the ball to Ott enough. They don't trust him. Something's not right with this running game. And they're not, I mean, as great as Mateer is, they can't just run Mateer the whole time and expect that to be successful in the SEC schedule.
Yeah, I think the reason, and this is just kind of a theory, but I think the reason they didn't lean on the run game so much is because they've got the freshman at left tackle, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I kind of think that they're trying to like you build confidence in a freshman quarterback, trying to pull around the offensive line. Yeah. And so there may be a lot of possibility for the running game to improve there. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I'm not entirely out on Oklahoma's run game. I have to see it. The one thing I am positive on Oklahoma, but well, there's multiple things. There's lots of things positive about Oklahoma. But the one thing that I am is we didn't really have a comparison of Mateer running this offense against high-level athletes. You know, guys that are fast and strong and just as good as he is, right? He kind of played a bit of a cupcake schedule at Washington State last year. But he did great against that schedule. So it's like, well, when he moves up a level, does he maintain that? Is he still like that? Or is that something that, you know, faster people can kind of fix? And I think we got an answer to that question, which is that he's still that guy. There were, if you watch the game, there were a couple of throws where you're like, you know, like you maybe shouldn't have made that. But there were a lot of throws where you're like, holy cow, I can't believe he made that. Like,
yeah. So. And that's my other point in Oklahoma. I think he's going to do a lot of great things. I do worry that at some point in the season, those throws that's kind of questionable that could be picked could be problematic in a game. Like he could end up costing them a game by some of those throws.
Yeah, but I think he's also going to win them 3 more just by being that guy.
I think so. This is clear enough. Great. I mean, this looks like a team
like a top 10 offense and a top 5 defense.
Yeah, they may have moved to that upper level of the SEC at this point. The SEC. Is everybody going to be 9-3 and 8-4 in the SEC? Not Florida, but everybody else.
I don't know, man. I'd like to see someone score on Oklahoma's defense before I put them in at 9-3. Because
that's true.
Here's the counterpoint of that. If you put Mateer in that offense on most teams, you're like, you know, 9-3 with like one insane upset is probably what you think, right? You put Mateer in that offense with the best or second best defense in the entire country, which was what Oklahoma played at last night. I don't know if I think Ohio State's probably still number 1, Texas number 2. So maybe Oklahoma's number 3, right? You put Oklahoma a top 5 defense in the country. You pair it with that offense, the sky's the limit because if you only have to score, you know, 28 points to win every game this season, which they might have to. You know, this might be a game where if you could score 30 on Oklahoma, you just win, right? Because their defense is that good.
You wish Georgia was on their schedule. I'd like to see them play Georgia. Yeah, they've got a brutal schedule.
They do have a brutal schedule, but not quite so brutal as it looked at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, no. So Oklahoma, hats off to them, exactly what we thought. Now, let's get to Michigan. I have a couple thoughts on Michigan. First of all, Bryce Underwood looks like a freshman. Looks like a freshman playing a second game against an overmatched defense. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think they didn't want him to start. They wanted Mikey Keenan.
The talent flashed. I have to say, he clearly has it. He's just got to develop.
he was going to go to LSU. He was going to sit behind Garrett Nussmeier. He wasn't even going to play this year.
Yep.
Then Michigan got him. He was going to. Mikey Keenan was brought in to be the starter. He got hurt. So I mean, there's going to be growing pains here. But the other thought as I was watching this game last night, and again, hats off to Oklahoma's defense. This is now year 2 of Sharon Moore, and we got a little Sharon Moore when he had a lot more talent offensively when he was offensive coordinator. Can I say it out loud?
What?
Can we start to question if this is the right coach for Bryce Underwood and the talent in Michigan?
I don't know. I'm not there yet because I think
I'm getting there.
I think you get any coach that a freshman quarterback going into Norman, 90,000 screaming fans. Like I don't know, like who wins with that in that scenario. Like I'm not quite out on them yet.
I know, but we just kind of shrugged it off last year. Oh, they're just bad offensively last year. Well, we never really placed the blame. We just said, oh, they just want to be talent.
Well, we got a new coordinator. He doesn't, and also he doesn't call plays. He's not like, you know, he can't blame the play calling on him.
I know. I'm just wondering if, and he's a great recruiter. You don't want to waste this bunch of generational talent, and I think you got to get this right. So
you're right. I think let's see Michigan against a mid-tier opponent before we make any of those judgments. We've seen them against the Cream Puff, and we've seen them against one of the best teams in the country. But let's see them against, the 20th best team in the country, right?
Well, they're going to get Nebraska here in a few weeks.
Let's see them in there, see how they do there. If they and if they play to their ceiling, they should do really well. And with the talent they have, they should beat Nebraska. If they struggle against some of these mid-tier teams like they did last year, where we blamed it on no quarterback, then I think we can have that conversation. I'm not ready to go there yet.
Okay.
But
the other thing is their wide receivers are just terrible. I mean, they need to upgrade. They need to hit the portal hard this year. They need to figure out the wide receiver, because I don't care how good Bryce is going to be. You got to throw the ball to someone. They have no. I do not trust those wide receivers at all.
There's that one guy who should be, but on like every other team, he'd be like a wide receiver 3. So it's like,
they need more talent to surround Underwood. But again, it's what I expected. Oklahoma was my lock of the week on the money line. It wasn't even really I didn't feel like it was close. They got that one. They got close to that one run on the second half, but other than that was it.
Yeah, I thought it would be. I don't know. I don't know what I thought, but I with you on Oklahoma. I think I picked them to be in the playoff for a reason. I think they're a serious threat to compete for the SEC championship, and teams better look out, because I think some folks in the SEC, and the ACC as well, sort of the Southeast, that don't, teams that haven't traditionally played Oklahoma. I don't know if they're aware that Oklahoma's probably the second best program historically in college football.
Yes.
Third. Okay, third. Alabama, Ohio State, and then Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're never down. They were down for like 6 years in the 90s in the last 100 years, and then last year, right? So if you're expecting Oklahoma to go into the SEC and then be mid-tier with Tennessee and Auburn, like, that's not what they expect. So the folks in the SEC might be finding out about how Oklahoma plays football this year, because Oklahoma, y'all forget, like, everyone's like, oh, Texas. Oklahoma is the big brother in that rivalry. Like, it's not Texas, it's Oklahoma. And if they get things rolling there, man, like, whew. I think Venables may have turned the corner there. There's a spot opening up at the top of the SEC with Alabama, seemingly not as locked down as it always is. And, who's to say Oklahoma can't fill that spot?
Yep, exactly.
All right. I already did a big rant on Baylor SMU, but I was at the game. What was your take on Baylor SMU?
That was just a crazy game. I mean, you knew the game was going to be crazy when first play of the game, Jennings throws the ball. It should have been intercepted by Baylor. The SMU guy takes it 75 yards. I'm going, oh, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
No, I mean, two things real quick. I mean, Kevin Jennings, he needs a defense, because he can make things happen.
Goodness
he really
gracious.
can. If he had a defense, I think SMU would be tough to beat. Sawyer Robertson needs a defense because I think that man could put Heisman numbers up this year.
He's thrown for over 400 yards in 2 straight games against
yeah,
2 really
he
solid
is.
teams.
I mean, Baylor's going to end up being the best 9-3 team without a defense. I mean, they really are, because they're going to lose games where they're going to score 40, 42 points, and people are going to go, wow, I wish they had I mean, they could
if we could just
anybody.
get to the Big 12 title game, like if we could somehow get there, I think our offense could score on anybody in the country.
Yeah. I mean, Baylor's offense is always fun to watch. There was some, again, the punt. I don't know how you handle that punt situation. I don't know how you fix that ruling. It's just impossible. I mean, you get blocked into it, and then it hits them, and then So I don't know.
Yeah. Can I just say real quick, there's a crisis in officiating in college football. This is not even specific to a particular conference. Like this goes beyond, conferences in general and conference alliances. There just seems to be like horrible missed calls multiple times every weekend in lots of games. I would watch like in the Kansas Missouri game, in the Baylor SMU game, in the Duke Illinois game. There were just some bad calls just all over the sport, and I don't know how you address it. Do you just give more training to these refs? Do you pay them more? I don't understand what the solution is, but there is just an epidemic of bad calls and misrefereeing throughout the sport, and it's not. People like to say it's on one conference, but these were Big 12 refs in the Baylor SMU game, and I've seen ACC refs make their fair share of mistakes, and Big 10 refs as well. And like, it's not just the SEC, although there is bad officiating in that conference.
Yeah,
too.
They're not full time, so it's hard. I mean, in fairness to the Baylor SMU guys, I'm not sure they made the wrong call. I just don't know that the rule is messed up.
That's right, but there were a couple other cases in that game where they
they made the right call in the targeting, because they got it right in the booth, because clearly that wasn't targeting, and that would have made the difference in the game, honestly, because that would have moved that field goal 15 yards closer to win the game. So, and they reversed the call, which was correct. It was the right call. So,
no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like in the second quarter, there were like 3 straight, like extremely bad calls.
Well, that happens. You're right, but we need to move on from things. Yeah. Nacho Man wants to know, that's a low blow, Auburn. Listen, I love Auburn, but Oklahoma.
Auburn's in the second tier, which, like, when they're up, they can compete for a national title, but they're not a perennial title contender.
They're not Oklahoma. I mean,
they're not Oklahoma. Like, Oklahoma has 7 national championships, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's, of course,
and not like all in one era, like in the 50s and the 80s and Anyway,
all right.
Let's talk about where do you want to go. Where do you want to go next?
Well, let's get it over with what happened in Death Valley, because we need to touch on it.
Okay, yeah.
Clemson, weird game. They were down 3-0. They go to a weather delay. They come back. The stadium empties out. I was actually in Clemson, South Carolina, but I wasn't at the game. I know. Don't worry about that. It's a long story. I don't know why. I mean, I don't understand why people leave the stadium, they go to a game, and then they don't come back. It makes no sense to me. So Troy's up. They get a fluky interception return for touchdown at the 2-yard line, because Klubnik throws it, it gets batted. It just lands in the lineman's lap. He walks in 2 yards. All of a sudden, they're down 16-0. And you're kind of like going, what's going on here? Well, then at that point, Clemson finally comes out, second half, blows their doors off 27-16. But it just, you just feel like there's a hangover from that LSU loss. I think we need to slow our jets on your national championship pick on Clemson, by the way. But I also don't think I'm ready to write off Clemson yet. I think there's just hangover from the LSU loss. I think Dabo's teams get better as the year go on. Generally, they do improve. I still worry that Clemson can't find a running game. That's got to get better.
That was what I was going to say. Is it time to have a conversation about Clemson's run game? Because it's not there.
They don't have a running back.
There isn't one there. Also, like, I watched the second half of that game. Like, yeah, they came back and won, but they just didn't look very good. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah,
Again,
I picked them to win the national title, and that's my pick. But you adjust with new data points, and
agreed. But
I
don't write them off yet. I don't write them off completely yet. They haven't looked good. A lot of teams have looked better, but it's not over for Clemson.
I don't know, man. You're right. It's not over, but yeah. They keep this up. We may starting to have a Dabo conversation here soon.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about Kansas, Missouri, border war?
Yes. Let's talk about that. Now, I didn't
This was a great game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is what college football is about. There.
Wait. We got to talk about the field goal attempt. The guy.
All right, you talk about. I didn't see this happen. I wasn't dialed into this, so you got to talk. You got to talk.
This is what college football. This is why college football is better than the NFL. So they give us a guy an opportunity to win $25,000 to kick a field goal. Comes out on the field. So all he's got to do is kick the field goal to win $25,000. So they get the ball out. He's getting ready to kick, and instead of kicking the ball, he lifts his shirt up, and it says "F-U." Kansas.
KU, right?
FU Kansas or FU KU, whatever. Crowd goes crazy. He then turns and kicks the ball at the Kansas sideline. I mean, he doesn't care about the money. I mean, this is why college football is so great. That would never happen. Oh, yeah, and he had a prosthetic leg.
Oh, wait, what? Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. This is gold. This is why college football rules. So anyway, I'll let you talk about the game. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, that's classic. That goes up there on the all-time rivalry moments. I'm glad that we're playing this game again. I think every team should schedule their rivalries out of conference. I don't know why they don't. It's a scam. Please do it. Please. What are we doing scheduling another Grambling State game? Schedule your out of conference rivals. Please. Colleges. Man, this was great. So Kansas jumps out to like a 21-3 lead or something.
21-6. Yeah.
21-6 lead. Jalen Daniels is running for his life, but he's making plays. He's completing passes. He looks like 2 years ago Jalen Daniels. And then there was a momentum turn, and it was around halftime, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like something switched. I don't know what switched. I don't know if it's the halftime adjustments. Like I don't know what happened, but Missouri just locked in, and I thought Missouri was going to win this game, and they just because they're better on the lines of scrimmage. The other thing, Missouri did end up being better on the lines of scrimmage through this game. That was kind of as it wore on, Kansas kind of lost their push up front. Bo Pribula can pass the ball.
Yeah.
Is it time to talk about Bo Pribula being a good quarterback? Because
I was wrong on I was wrong on him.
Me too. We didn't know. We never seen him pass the ball.
Would Missouri? I mean, would Penn State be better with him?
No. Drew Allar's good. The thing, it's like we assumed because they only ran Pribula in Wildcat that they just didn't think he could throw the ball, and okay. He transfers to Missouri. The other guy gets injured. Horn, right? Sam Horn, yeah. Gets injured. And he gets the job, and we're like, all right, they're going to be doing a bunch of read option, Wildcat stuff. That's fine. He came out, he made passes. He wasn't the greatest quarterback in the world, but he looked like he should be playing the position quarterback. He completed throws. Some of them were on time. Some of them were behind. But he can run. He can run. He's a threat with his legs. This was a surprise. I think we may have to seriously upgrade Missouri in the SEC, especially with some of the top teams doing less well, and Missouri and him being able to throw the ball.
And they have the easiest schedule in the SEC along with Texas. We're going to have conversations about where they belong now. Do I think they're capable of beating the top teams? Maybe not, but they're going to be there. They're going to be there come November. We we're talking about 1 and 2 loss teams fighting for playoff spots. I was wrong on them. I kind of poo-pooed them earlier and kind of discounted them. I thought they'd be worse. I actually think they're probably better than last year's team, honestly, at this point.
I agree.
You're talking about
Kevin Coleman, the wide receiver, was awesome.
Yeah. And Eli Drinkowitz is a coach that Napier could take lessons from. That guy knows how to manage a game, manage a team, manage a roster. No, Missouri was great. It was a great win. And, and I picked Kansas. I thought Kansas would get them. I thought that looked pretty good, even up to the end. And then Missouri tacked on another touchdown right at the end when Kansas couldn't convert. But I mean, hats off. I think Kansas has looked pretty good so far. I think Kansas is going to be a tough out in the Big 12 for teams.
I agree, especially with Kansas State being down. Our opinions on those teams have completely flipped coming into the year.
Yeah. Kansas
State lost to Army today.
So if you take America's game and you go to Ireland, I'm proud that Army is defending our national pastime and taking care of Kansas State. You can't do that, Kansas State. That's why we sent the Army in to beat you. I mean, there's something wrong with with Kansas State right now. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with that team.
Yeah.
They should be better.
We may be on fade Kansas State for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, they're bad. While we're speaking about, it wasn't a good day for the Big 12. It had started out well, and then it deteriorated quickly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Big 12, let's get to the big one that took a hit. Arizona State, and I did not see this one coming. I just thought they were better. They got behind 17-0 at Mississippi State. And you figured they dug a hole, and then they just second half, they dominated the second half, right? For what I could watch. I didn't get
I watched this game. I watched this game pretty intently.
I watched the highlights when
Arizona
I got back.
State kept trying to climb out in the second half, but they never really got into rhythm. Sam Leavitt was bad. He wasn't even mediocre. He was just bad. He was not good. This is the first time I've seen him play where he looks not good. All last year he was excellent. Even in the playoff game, he was excellent. He was just not a good. It was a bad day for him. His mobility, they were ready for it. They had to spy on him, and anytime he tried to roll out and run, he missed players downfield. I don't. After that game, the first round projections, I agree, you gotta hold the horses yet. I mean, again, he is a sophomore, so he's got another year for that anyway.
It's hard for me to get a read yet. How bad do they miss Cam Scadaboo? How much was that just dependent on him?
It's more they missed their O-line.
Yeah.
It's not even like the running backs weren't bad. They split carries between two guys, Kanye Udo and one other guy. And they were fine. I don't think they miss Scadaboo as much as they miss the pass protection and the run blocking that came with their O-line that they had last year. Because
they should get right against Baylor in 2 weeks. That'll make them feel better.
Yeah, because Mississippi Mississippi State got pressure on him consistently. They basically prevented Arizona State from running the ball consistently. Oh, is he a redshirt sophomore?
Yeah,
okay.
He is eligible.
He is eligible this year? Okay. So I would say I'd be concerned if I were Arizona State. You can have all the good skill position players you want, but if you can't block, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And on defense, they weren't as bad. Like you said, they held them to a decent amount of points. They gave up a touchdown with like 20 seconds left to lose the game, or like 8 seconds left. I can't remember.
Well, but you got to remember, go back and look at that touchdown. It was very similar to the Texas. They were blitzing. They got caught in a blitz. The backer in the back, just would he fall down or got caught? And Chapin just made the right read. I mean, so kind of like the Texas. I mean, so just like in the Texas.
Malik Brown's good. Yeah, that's the other running back. Yeah.
So, I mean, when you play that aggressive style of defense that Dillingham plays, if something goes wrong, if there's a player just steps out of position, you can get burned. And
I just think it's your responsibility as a coach when you're in late points in the game like that.
Yes.
To adjust your defensive style. Like, you can't just stick with it just because, most of the time it works. Right. But you have to change that for the key crucial points at the end of the game.
Correct.
Where you can give up 10 yards, but you can't give up 40, right? Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
So that's on him. Again, he's really young head coach. I think long term, I think they'll be fine at Arizona State, but a little bit of a regression to the mean this year is probably to be expected. So
Yeah. So let's talk about. I know since we got one of our longtime listeners on, let's talk about a game near and dear to his heart. Let's talk about that wild and crazy game at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina yesterday.
yeah, so I didn't get eyes on this because of the Baylor SMU game. I kept seeing the score updates. I was like, "What is happening? Take me in. Tell me what happened in this game."
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Virginia, North Carolina State was just a wild game. It was fun because it's rare to see Virginia put up that many points and a team that can match score for score. I didn't like the fact that Virginia couldn't stop anybody. The only issue I have is that Virginia just couldn't close the game out. Hats off to CJ Bailey. I think that kid. We mentioned him in the preseason. I think CJ Bailey's a talent, and I'd see it's rare that a Dave Doran team, the defense is what's breaking down. It's not the offense. And if you look at North Carolina State's schedule, their schedule is pretty favorable for the next few weeks. I think they're going to climb up the charts here pretty quickly. The back end of the schedule is the tough part, but CJ Bailey looks good. He is settling down there. Virginia, I mean, all of a sudden you got Taylor, the running back, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Morris threw 257, but they got down to the 5-yard line, and Morris just threw the pick right in the end zone with under a minute to go. They had a chance to win the game. Virginia, he threw a pick. It was an easy read to the linebacker. He shouldn't have thrown the ball, but he drove them all the way down. I mean, Virginia is going to be in games this year because offensively they can score points. It's a question: can they make just enough plays to get on? I mean, Virginia looks like a bold team. They look like they're going to get enough wins. I think so, but are they going to be able to stop people? I don't know if that's going to keep Tony Elliott's job. I mean, if you get a 6-6, you probably do because Virginia just doesn't care enough. But I think it's 5-7 probably gets him fired. Who knows? But it was quite an interesting game, fun game to watch, fun game to have on that others to be looking at when I'm watching Baylor, SMU, Virginia, North Carolina State. There's just points going left and right. So
nice.
I think North Carolina State's now 2-0. Sneaky team to watch for in the ACC.
NC State.
Yes.
I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. Every single year we buy in. NC State's a sneaky team in the ACC.
I know.
No, they're not. They're not sneaky. They're the same level that they've always been, which is they can beat up everybody except the top tier teams. They're not sneaky. They're not sneaking up on anybody. They're a good, not great football team. And so I can't buy into it. I've been broken too many times with number 18 NC State going into Clemson or Florida State or something. And I'm not falling for it again. You can't do it to me.
So let me read you, while we're in the ACC, let me just read you a stat line here for a second.
Please. I love stat lines.
I love crazy stats. Let's go. Then we'll go to team stats here. Tell me if you think this team wins. Hold on. Where I had it here?
Here we go. Here's another conference comparison with things pulled out of context. And I'm not going to know which team you're talking about.
Oh, I had it earlier. I think this team had -4 yards in the second half.
Wait, I actually know who this is. Because I bet on them to lose.
Oh, you couldn't have bet on them.
I bet on Vanderbilt, right?
Oh, you bet on Vanderbilt. So
I bet on Vanderbilt to win. I was dialed into this game. Diego Pavia destroyed them, and Vanderbilt's defense obliterated them on the offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about a bad. I mean, the Hokies are up 20-10 at home on a Saturday night.
Never had a doubt.
And they couldn't do. I mean, Vanderbilt just annihilated them the second half. I mean, negative yards. I mean, I just can't believe that. How do you do that?
I can believe it.
I mean, well, first of all, you got Kyron Jones as your quarterback. Yeah.
I think
we got read our chat, knew exactly it was -4 yards. Kyron Jones is bad. I think I saw somewhere Bud Elliott on Twitter today talked about how he had agents telling him before the season that nobody wanted the coordinator jobs in Blacksburg. So before the season, yeah, you want to talk about Billy Napier maybe on the hot seat. Yeah, he's done. He's done. They're not going to, I don't care how many, they may have to win all their games. That's just not going to happen.
They need a institutional revamp there if they want to elevate to another level.
They haven't won a non-conference Power 4 game since 2017.
They need someone to come in like Dillingham did at Arizona State and just take over the whole thing and revamp it. Like,
yeah. So yeah, that was pretty bad. But the thing was, let's not focus on Tech so much. Is Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt is going to be sneaky for a lot of teams. I mean, we knew them last year, but are they
weren't sneaky if you were listening to the Happy Huddle, because I've been high on Vanderbilt since January, baby, since Diego Pavio is coming back.
Do they play? I think they play South Carolina this weekend. That's going to be a fun matchup. I think it's South Carolina.
Oh, you know who I'm betting on.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in a Wednesday night podcast. So, let's see. Who else do we need to focus on? What other games do you want to talk about?
I think we got to talk about Duke, Illinois.
Yeah. What do you – I watched some of that game. I didn't watch the whole thing once Illinois started pulling away.
I watched the recap.
Too many turnovers.
Yeah.
Too many turnovers.
Basically, I think they played pretty even in the first half. And in the second half, Illinois' physicality kind of got the better of Duke. Darian Mensah, he can make the throws to compete with the best in the country, but he just had too many turnovers. Duke had like 5 or 6 turnovers. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Mensah, I had a fumble and an interception, or did he have 2 interceptions? I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I lost track. You could kind of tell at some of the skill positions and on the line of scrimmage that Duke was a little less talented. They were kind of having to scheme around some stuff. Definitely. Duke should just never go out of the no huddle. Like, they are so much better when they're just running up and snapping it, versus when they get back there and then they ask their lines to just beat the guy man to man against Illinois. Illinois is a legit top 10 team. They deserve it. They're at that level. Luke Altmaier was efficient. He was efficient and he was accurate. He looked like an experienced quarterback that knows what he's doing. They had the wide receivers on Illinois. They're not lacking. I expected kind of a drop off coming in from last year. They're not. The Dixon was good, and the other guy they have on the outside is good as well. Illinois, good along the lines of scrimmage. They got good pass rush on Mensah, and I think they're a legitimate contender. I'd say maybe to make the Big Ten title game with an upset. They'd have to pull off a pretty crazy upset, but they're right there in that second tier of the Big Ten, and they may jump up and bite somebody if the opportunity arises.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Ten to me is there's 3 that are the clear top tier, and then
you're right. There is 3, but Illinois is right on that. When
they're at the top of everybody else.
Yeah, they're at the top of the heap of everybody else. So I could see them trying to make it a playoff spot if everything.
But they could, and their schedule is favorable. They got a good schedule. So, and with the Big Ten, it's pretty clear cut. The SEC, I think the SEC is the new Big 12. You have no idea what's going to happen in any game.
I don't know. I still am not putting a lot of faith in Kentucky. I think I saw the Ole Miss Kentucky game. I watched it. I was raging at Lane Kiffin for not covering. Like,
so did half of America when he's up by 10. And
what are you doing, dog? What are we doing?
Yeah, you and I both blew that on Ole Miss as one of the locks. What that game said to me is it didn't give me confidence in Kentucky. It gave me concern that Ole Miss may be overrated.
And I don't think they're overrated because I didn't have them very highly rated going in. And you didn't either.
I didn't either. No. I think
but from a national perspective, I do think they are overrated. I still think Kentucky's still the worst team in the SEC. I don't know if they're playing Mississippi State, but I might have Mississippi. They don't have an offense. I don't even know how they scraped by those points that they got. Calzada is legitimately terrible. Like, how could you not afford to buy a better quarterback at Kentucky? You have some money, don't you? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of bad offenses, let me throw another stat at you. You'll know which team I'm coming to. So, We
Didn't
have a
Austin
big.
Simmons get injured in the Ole Miss game,
He
though?
did, and I think he left the game, came back, and then left the game again, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure if his performance was because of that, but
We have a quarterback in the Big Ten who set a record, the fewest passing yards with a minimum of what was it? Minimum of forgetting a certain number of attempts. The fewest passing yards since 1995 for fewest number of attempts. Guess which team that is?
yeah, I look. I think we may have to make this like a weekly segment, just like Jake apologizes because
They're terrible.
I'm sorry,
he's thrown
Iowa
for
State. I'm sorry.
135 yards for the year. For the year.
I'm sorry. I will never put trust in Iowa's offense ever again.
Yeah.
Little whisper in the background. Iowa State's offense wasn't very good either, but
No, they weren't. No, and
but
Iowa
their defense
State's
was
just
very
kind of
good.
they did
and
enough.
Yeah, I'm wrong. You got me. I'm on the Iowa State train now. Should not have been off of it. I'm bought in. I think they're a Big 12 title contender. I'm sorry, Iowa State fans. I didn't believe.
So are we going to get down to where, the Big 12 has shifted a lot this season. I'm beginning to believe that it could be Texas Tech and Utah with Baylor, if Baylor can outscore one of them.
Well, we don't play Texas Tech because the
know you
conference hates rivalries and hates fun. Yeah, well, I told you I thought Utah was going to be really good coming this
But
season.
I want to see Utah play a real team. They beat up on UCLA, and we've seen it. UCLA is just
UCLA just lost to UNLV.
They are bad, and UNLV is not good either.
You want a little sneak preview of what I'm betting next week? You can get 16.5 for who's playing UCLA? Some MAC team, I think.
It doesn't matter.
I'm taking them. I'm taking the points, man.
Yeah. No. So again, let's not.
New Mexico. It's New Mexico. The New Mexico team that put up 14 on Michigan is playing UCLA next week. They're getting 16.5. Yes, please.
Well, I just think everything we thought about this season, the teams we thought. And Arizona State may come around. I don't think Kansas State will come around, but it's going to be. It's going to be an interesting year in the Big 12. We have no idea what's going to happen.
I also want to see Texas Tech play somebody good before I really even comment on them because you just don't know how they're going to be when you play against these cupcakes. So Texas Tech may not be much better, but they may also be. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, it's
I do think Utah has. What's his name? The quarterback,
Dampier.
Devin Dampier. I think he's good. I think he's really good. He's dynamic. I think they'll score a lot. They can run with that offensive line. I think they're going to be dangerous for sure.
Yeah. So
other notes? West Virginia lost to Ohio.
Chad, I love you, buddy, but you want me to talk more West Virginia? You got to beat Ohio.
You can't be losing to Ohio, dog.
No,
sorry,
that was not good. And they started playing country roads. It was in the locker room or in the field. I don't know. No. They were enjoying that.
Yeah. They need to repave the country roads.
So I think, Big 12, we always think is good. I think there's a lot of bad teams in the Big 12 this year. There's a number that
kind of a separation in the Big 12 because also Cincinnati gave up 20 to Bowling Green. Now they won, but you can't be allowing Bowling Green to score 20 points.
Cincinnati may be bad. West Virginia may be bad. UCF may be bad.
UCF is bad.
We've got some teams that they're not going to get beat at people on a weekly basis. Who knows? It's still early. It's week
Kansas
2.
State is bad.
I don't know about Kansas. We don't know about Kansas.
Kansas State lost to Army.
I know. I think they're bad, but we don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
All right. What other games? We're getting close to an hour here. What other games you want to talk about? We could keep going because there's a lot more to talk about. But I think the only thing I want to mention is
LIU, the Long Shark, the Sharks. They got a win over Eastern Michigan. FCS over FBS win. That never happens. It's pretty rare. FCS team won. Good for them.
Hey, guess who's good? USC.
Okay. Who did they play?
Well, they played Georgia Southern, the Clay Helton Bowl.
Southwestern Missouri School for the Blind.
But here's the deal. They've done something that a lot of teams don't do the first 2 weeks. They've gone out and whipped butt of the two opponents are supposed to kick butt for.
There's a lot of teams that kick butt on opponents this week, like the top 7.
I understand, but they've done it 2 weeks in a row. Jada Maava looks good. Jordan, the guy that they wanted at running back, looks really good. I'm telling you, I said before the season, I thought I was higher in USC than you were.
Yeah, you're right.
I think this team's gonna be good. They're gonna be a tougher route this year.
Now let's see them against a team with a pulse.
Well, we're gonna see them play Purdue this week. Watch them take Purdue to the woodshed.
I said a team with a pulse.
I understand. I'm just telling you, look out.
Predicting USC to take Purdue to the woodshed is like, predicting there's going to be thunderstorms in July or in June. Like, yeah, okay, probably sometime. Like,
he doesn't listen, folks. I try.
I'm not saying that USC is not good. They very well may be good. I'm saying we don't know. We don't know.
Listen, they're not like Penn State. Penn State struggled with FIU for a little while. Couldn't put them away. I'm just not convinced Penn State's running their full offense. I think they're just running scrimmages at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the Q's UConn game.
I saw none of that game. All I saw was Fran Brown making his team run wind sprints after the game, after they won.
I bet this game.
Hats off, Fran Brown.
I got the backdoor cover, and it was probably the worst bet that I've ever placed because I had Syracuse minus 6.5. They won in overtime against UConn by 7.
Craziness.
So lucky. Should not have won that. I did. Wins are wins. Lost are losses. Is Q's bad or is UConn good? I don't know. The line on next week's UConn, UConn plays somebody next week, and the line is like UConn minus 6. So it makes me think that UConn may not be just a bottom feeder. They may be bottom 90 instead of bottom 120, right? As a team. But also, if Q's is not that good, what does that say about Tennessee?
Well, we're going to find out about Tennessee this week. They play Georgia, so we're going to start to get an idea.
We're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. This week gets saucy. We get a lot of teams. We're going to find out about LSU and Florida this week for good. We're going to find out, is Florida really that bad? Yes. Is LSU good? Maybe, probably. Yes. We're going to find out Notre Dame plays Texas A&M this week. That's a big –
This is find out Saturday for sure.
I mean, you look at the strength of schedule record so far. If you look at –
Also, quick note, USF should be in the top 10.
They should be. Hey, you look at now, according to ESPN's FBI strength of record, USF has the number 3 strength of record. Miami has 4. They're playing each other this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you know where they're playing each other. It's on the CW, for crying out loud.
This is a mistake, ACC. What have you done?
Yeah. And by the way, watching that CW broadcast, Baylor SMU, they literally show no replays. It's a horrible broadcast. It's almost like watching a high school broadcast at times.
Man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to find out we're going to see if USF beats Miami, they might as well start punching their ticket to the playoff. I mean, they're going to be. If
USF beats Miami, they should be a top 10 team ranked.
They should be, yeah. So anyway, we're going to have.
I will. This is a sneak little note that we may talk about later. This is like the epitome of like good in-game coaching decisions versus Mario Cristobal. Like, what are we going to see in this game? Is Golish going to run the up-tempo veer and shoot with going for it 4th down a million times and Mario kicks 6 field goals? Like, I don't know. It'll be an interesting game.
Yeah. It's who knows? We got a good week coming up. Great week to be at home, watch some football. I'll be locked in. I'll have 3 televisions up and running at least. So anyway, we'll have our we haven't figured out the night of our preview, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday night this week. We got to work out some scheduling stuff, but we'll try to let you know on the socials, right?
Yes, we'll get it out there. Follow me on
It'll
X.
either be Wednesday. Wednesday night. It'll probably be at 9 Eastern, just due to a scheduling issue, or it'll be Thursday night. Could be Thursday a little bit earlier, maybe 8 Eastern or 7:30 or something, 8:30, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Follow me on X. At Real Hopster. Follow on Instagram at The Hoppy Huddle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tune in live if you're watching the video, and you can ask questions in the chat. We'll respond to them. Yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in to watch, and make sure and share the show with anybody who likes college football. And thank you so much for watching. Good night.